morning. So I'll be sort of coming at this from a business viewpoint, and as a business person who actually back in the day Vince asked to join his board when Vince was Secretary of State at the Department of Business, and I was a proud member of the non-executive member of the Department of Business, and indeed I was one of the business people, and there wasn't enough of us, I've got to say, who were out making very, very strong arguments for Remain, and trying to do my best to point out the difficulties that we would end up having, particularly on alignment of standards, the difficulty we would end up on potential tariffs in the automotive industry with rules of origin. And I can tell you, having conversations with the likes of Dominic Raab and David Davis and all of those people, it was just unbelievable. There was just no interest, no sort of understanding of the detail at all, and it was all a political mission, and they just thought that we were all scaremongering as business. So that's the sort of history. Now, I've moved on massively from that, and I guess quietly, I do feel somewhat good about the fact that what we were pointing out has turned out to be the case. But actually, I make every effort, other than in groups like this, to not point that out, because I think really it's the right thing for us to do, to just sort of play the smart game here, and just let the statistics bear themselves out. And I do think, and the statistics are the data is all showing that this has been a huge failure. Now, of course, we do need, and I absolutely value the European movement for everything that you do, and Best for Britain, it is helpful if you have somebody just drip feeding, what an absolute disaster this is, and that's good. But that doesn't mean that business people or our Liberal Democrat politicians need to constantly sort of go on about this. In my view, I think what we should be doing, and it's very much what Daisy was just saying, is really sort of being the adults in the room and saying, look, we're in a damn mess. Brexit has been a big part of creating the mess we're in, and we are going to come up with the practical solutions of how to fix that. And that's very much the space that I'm in, and it is the space that I believe that most business people are in. Now, I chaired a conference called Trade Unlocked, which was organised by Best for Britain, that some of you will know, fairly recently, and we've got about 500 people in the room of businesses in all sectors, and the whole mood in the room was, we've just got to find some practical solutions to solving the problems that we have got on the mountains of red tape and not being able to get people into this country from the European Union because of the visa stuff and all the rest of it. And the business community, and I am speaking for the business community, they're definitely not in a rejoin European Union space. They are just, the business community are just so, quite frankly, just tired of all the chop and change, the challenges, of course, COVID, energy prices and all the rest of it. The last thing that I think we want is just, to start throwing up a whole argument, and the whole nation starts getting into this, divisive debate again. So it's very much about a pragmatic, can we just take some of the key problems off the table? So I'm very much supportive of the sort of step-by-step approach. But let's be clear, the ultimate long game is to join the single market and the customs union, so ultimately that's what we want. But I do agree with Daisy that we might just have to find some different language, because, it's sort of single market customs union, it just sounds a little bit like you're going back to something, whereas I think we need to find the language about something, optimistic about, where we're actually going. And that is it is a political nuance that I'm putting on it. At the end of the day, it will be that we are in the place of totally alignment to standards, and of course that says that we're in the single market, but I think that's a way we could lead. So at Trade Unlocked, we were talking about beneficial standards, alignment on beneficial standards, working together, and and the fact that, look, we've been in an experiment, and the experiment has been to deregulate and find economic advantage through deregulation. And look, how many attempts have we had? Nobody has found the advantage. what we have found is the disadvantages. Our rivers are polluted, our air quality is going backwards. We've now got 30 pesticides that are allowed in the United Kingdom that are banned by the European Union, and none of this is what the business community wants. So I think bringing those sorts of arguments that then edge us back towards that argument of total alignment of standards, and in the end, we just sort of take it from there. And the other thing that I think that is changing the mood is that actually the European Union is changing. It's not going to be that long until there will be a move to get the Ukraine into the European Union. You'll get Moldova into the European Union. And at that point, actually, you can bring the argument, look, we may be able to actually, as Britain, sort of be a bit of a leader in a new pact to say, what would a movement of those countries look like in terms of our access to the single market, which could look like something a little bit different to the model that we've had to now, but really does bring us the same advantages in terms of reducing the friction on trade. So I'll leave it there.
Thank you.